In today's video, I want to address a common question I receive from my viewers. Do these gambits and opening traps really work in real-life games? I appreciate all the positive feedback and the support from all of you. In order to demonstrate the effectiveness of these tactics, I have prepared my top 3 quickest wins using the same opening traps that I have taught you. These wins are not just theoretical, but actual games where these strategies have been successfully employed. So, in this video, you will witness real-life examples of how these gambits and traps can lead to swift victories. If you find this content valuable, I kindly ask you to hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. Now, let's dive into the exciting world of these opening traps and see them in action. Moving on to the next game, it was a blitz match against a 2,190 rated opponent. I started with e4, and my opponent responded with e5. Immediately, I decided to try out the King's Gambit traps that I covered in the video mentioned in the card above. You can watch that interesting video. My opponent took on f4, and I played knight f3. Black then played the top move, g5, trying to chase my knight away from f3 and set up for a potential queen h4 move. However, instead of retreating my knight, I castled short, giving up my knight on f3. After my opponent captured my knight, I played c3, allowing black to take my second pawn. Here's where the game took a brilliant turn. I sacrificed my bishop on f7 with check, and after my opponent's king captured my bishop, I placed my rook on f4, delivering another check. My opponent played e8, which turned out to be a terrible blunder. I quickly followed up with queen h5 check, and after my opponent moved to e7, I executed the final move to checkmate. For those wondering why my opponent didn't play knight f6 after rook to f4 check, I could have responded with e5, and if bishop g7, then queen h5 check, leading to a favorable position for me. I covered this line in my King's Gambit video, so be sure to check it out after watching this one. In a 3-minute blitz match against a highly rated chess player, with a rating of 2,292, I made a decisive move on move 7 to achieve a smothered checkmate. The game started with my move knight c3, followed by my opponent's response with d5. I countered by playing pawn to e4, and my opponent captured my pawn. I recaptured with my knight, and my opponent played bishop f5 to attack my knight. However, I first gave a check on b5 with my bishop, forcing my opponent's pawn to c6 to protect his knight. Sensing an opportunity, I played queen e2. Surprisingly, my opponent played knight d7, setting the stage for a smothered checkmate. Despite being a highly rated player, my opponent fell into this simple yet effective tactic, resulting in my victory. If you're interested in learning more about smothered checkmates, feel free to check out the YouTube video linked in the card above, which provides detailed insights into this exciting chess maneuver. Moving on to the next game, I faced an opponent rated 2111 in a 3-minute blitz match. I opened the game with knight c3, just like in my previous match. My opponent responded with d5. However, this time, instead of playing pawn to e4 as before, I opted for a different approach and played a4, introducing a new variation. Surprisingly, my opponent played c6, perhaps not expecting this move. Seizing the opportunity, I played pawn to e4, which he captured. I recaptured, and then my opponent played knight d7. Having successfully used a similar tactic in my previous game, I immediately played queen e2. This move caught my opponent off guard, as it blocked my light-squared bishop on move 5. As a result, he moved his knight to f6, not anticipating my strategic move. This move ultimately contributed to my victory in the game. Once again, my opponent fell victim to a smothered checkmate. I hope you learned a lot from this video. Let me know in the comment section below if you want me to do the second episode or the second part of this video. Feel free to write your thoughts, and I'll respond accordingly. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.